right, now we have some audience questions. One of my staff members will read each of the questions. Team, 60 seconds for audience questions as well. All right.
Check. Okay, here we go. How would you assist private institutions like Our Lady of the Lake University in the city to remain affordable for all students?
Well, first and foremost, it's up to the university. They're the ones that set the prices. They're the ones that are paying the teachers. They're the ones that are paying the administrators. Um, Best thing we could do is again offer a round table with them, figure out where we can step in. Again, like it was said a bunch of times up here, we could help with the infrastructure around the university. Um, Other than that, it's just going to be a round table to discuss where we can actually provide assistance. You don't want to overstep because now you start blurring lines and it goes from a gray line to something you shouldn't be going into.
Councilwoman.
I think that some opportunities exist for working with our private sector. And again, I mentioned this earlier, but it's that connection, letting them know what the really focused areas are for a university. So, for instance, OLU is focused and for a long time has been considered one of the best institutions for social work. We happen to have a great need in that area. We don't have enough social workers across the state, actually across the United States. But in particular, how do we again work with partner organizations? How do we showcase the talent that exists within each of our universities? Each university is unique and different. And by the way, there's other programs that can help as well. How do we create think tanks within the university and then plug them into different opportunities? For instance, the companies that are coming to recruit in San Antonio, that are establishing new headquarters, and those mid-sized companies that want to grow, or even those small businesses that need that additional level of support and maybe can't afford a full-time employee.
Would you mind repeating the question?
The question is, how would you assist private institutions like Our Lady of the Lake University in the city to remain affordable?
Absolutely. First and foremost, the FAFSA program is a great program that I'm a beneficiary of. You do that application, and the federal government does give you ability to either borrow money or get grant money from the state or private institutions. Secondfold, we don't have enough private companies that are writing scholarships to our students. I think those companies that are benefiting from our economy should give back to our community, and they should be held accountable by giving more scholarships to these students that would like to attend a private or a public university. Secondfold is there's a program in all universities that's known by work education program where you work part-time within the school system and in turn you do get a scholarship. I think more schools should offer bigger programs of that sense. And I think having roundtables to participate in those conversations is important.
Thank you. So I think we focus on a number of things, but one is service learning projects, mentorships, community internships, all of those things that will prepare a child for education. Because if those things are happening, and I'll say this, that I've heard a lot today that children are our future, and that's true, but children are here now. They are right now, and we need to invest in them. So also every other thing that the family's spending the dollar on, we have to make sure that we have affordable housing. We have to make sure that we have mass transit so that they can get back and forth to school at a low cost. And I do agree that we should look at private companies, but we only have so much private dollars that will help us out. So it's up to us as community leaders to make sure that everything around that child is as affordable as possible, because they won't all get scholarships, right? They maybe don't all do as well academically, but they deserve a shot just as well. So I think it's looking at the comprehensive world around that child and making that more affordable. Thank you.
Please repeat the question.
Thank you, Doctor.
How would you assist private institutions like Our Lady of the Lake University in the city to remain affordable for all students?
So I think the first portion of this is one, helping assist in establishing an endowment if one doesn't already exist. And then secondly, marrying the private sector institutions that currently operate within the city and helping them acknowledge and understand the value proposition of having an Our Lady of the Lake within their backyard. In doing so, what we're able to do is create long-term relationships that can continue to fund that endowment, thus allowing us to have a lower tuition cost as well as increase the pay that we provide to our staff. I think you have to be careful when you look at the city's role with respect to funding private institutions, but I think that we can play a very major role in making those introductions and highlighting the value of what an Our Lady of the Lake University means not only to the city, but for the people of the West San Antonio.
Chris, please.
Thank you. What I would think is very important for us to realize is that a private institution has the ability to attract partners. And what you've heard over and over and over, that San Antonio does not have the employer base currently because we are not attractive to Fortune 1000 companies. And then when we do have a company that we're courting or they're vacationing here, they don't stay. So we have to look again at infrastructure. We got to look at the digital divide. We got to look at VIA giving more routes to those who are in these zip codes that are in poverty and getting them to universities like Our Lady of the Lake. We have to invest in the conversation of highlighting what Our Lady of the Lake does to the world so that the world knows how to be responsive to a university that may be very special in having a long-term relationship.
Clayton.
Yeah, let's face it, we're not going to be able to move public funds into a private institution. It just won't happen. So what do you do then? Well, you were talking about public-private partnerships, which is an answer. Fundraising is an answer. But I would really look towards the university here about your alumni. How much are they giving back to their university that made them successful? I can tell you, I give a lot to Texas A&M because I'm thankful for what they gave me and the blessings that I've been given over my lifetime. So I would look at that as a possibility, but the public-private partnerships is very important here in San Antonio. And as Chris said, we don't have a lot of large industries here. So what do? Well, we got to get those large businesses here in town to be able to philanthropy, giving to universities, that kind of thing. It's important. And but no, we're not going to have the public, the public funds availability for this.
Councilman.
I look at this from two perspectives. First of all, financial support for the institution so it can continue, and then also support for the students so they can afford to go to school. I think that the city can take a greater role in providing more infrastructure support in and around a lot of these campuses to keep their costs down. I also believe that we as a city should be working harder to get businesses to become better partners with all of these institutions, to put more financial support into them, support more programs. Also, at the same time, we need to help the students, and I think we need to do that by offering more internships and the city asking businesses, give these students part-time jobs so they have additional funding to support themselves in school. And at the same time, we have a housing crisis in the city. Students are struggling to have housing. The city should partner with these institutions to build more affordable housing on and around the college campuses.
Would you mind repeating the question, please, once more?
Yes. How would you assist private institutions like Our Lady of the Lake University in the city to remain affordable for all students?
Santos.
Okay, first, I agree with Mr. Courage, okay? He hit it right on the spot. So basically, what we have to do, we have to go and see how we can help funding for the universities and colleges and for the students. We have to go outside to the private companies. They need to see how they can help support the universities and colleges, because if they graduate, they can go work there. Second, for the students, say right now I have an exchange student from Germany. Okay, so I go see him when he plays basketball, and I talk to the students, and I ask them, are they going to go to college, university? They say they can't afford it. They can't go. They can't get no scholarship. So I ask them, is your father a veteran or your mother? They say yes. Well, under Texas, the veterans, they will pay for your education. So, but they need to also be told that they can get their education paid by Texas if their family are veterans. Thank you.
Robert.
Well, we need to talk to these big companies, Valero, Toyota, and I know we give them some tax breaks, but we need to specify, if we give you these tax breaks, you need to help fund our colleges, private or public. So students could afford to come to these colleges. But if we don't give them an incentive to do that, they're not going to fund it. And kids are not going to go to college the way they're supposed to.
Arturo.
Greek root blepo, see with the mind. Blepo woman one, blepo man one, leave the earth and travel past the solar system. Blepo woman, man in 1 millennium, in 1 generation, born in outer space. Blepo, a whole generation come back to earth, healthy, happy, free, and alive. We need to motivate students beyond. We have so much technology. And I am committed to you to go to Microsoft, go to Google, and go to all these high-tech companies and bring them to that classroom. Bring them here to teach our kids everything they know. And in order to make the end of time, I have a piece of paper here that I have written all my concepts. I want to give it to you at the end.
James.
Vote J in May. Am I gonna have to get y'all to do jumping jacks to wake up? So the answer to that question is philanthropy, and then of course fundraising. I have friends who have retired from the NFL, who's retired from the NBA, who lives right here in this city, and they give out scholarships themselves. All we have to do is connect with them. One of the first things they are told during their exit strategy when they leave a professional sport is go get with the mayor of your city and find out how you can be a pillar in your city. So if we connect with those people who have these resources, we can fund schools like Our Lady of the Lake University by putting on golf tournaments, by putting on a bingo night and things of that nature. But we must connect with them. And congratulations to Our Lady of the Lake University for the 130th anniversary.
Thank you, James.
Vote J in May.
So we have time for one more question from the audience before we turn it over to closing remarks by each one of you. One more question, please.
College campuses sometimes face concerns about public safety. How can you work with the university to ensure students feel safe on and off campus?
60 seconds.
So there's an easy solution to that issue. The city can put funds towards police officers. I know it's been said a few times that they've already done that and they're already working on it. But there's a lot of places that they could have spent money on more police officers for safety rather than things that are not necessary. And to each their own are going to determine what's necessary or not. But I think safety is number one. So we take all the data we currently have from the police department on incidents that are occurring, and then we set up what they're trying to do now. My understanding is active policing. They do patrols in the areas that have high crime rates. They continue to stake those places out. But a lot of the times they show up after an incident occurs. So if we had more police officers, more policing, ensure that the public infrastructure around the university has lighting, has access to the roadways for police officers to get there quickly. Those are the things we could do.
Councilwoman.
Thank you. A few years ago, we got a report on the university email talking about how Our Lady of the Lake was one of the safest universities in the city. And I was really proud of that. And Chief Sertuche and his team do a great job here. But I think that investing in additional safe officers, investing in park police officers is always going to be helpful. We have Elmendorf Lake, who right next to us. So how do we ensure that people feel safe even walking around? Yes, additional investments in sidewalks, in lighting, et cetera, is critical. But also, one of the things that we don't talk about in terms of public safety is mental health. How do we focus on mental health and access to resources so that we don't have tragedies happen like the ones that we unfortunately hear about so often? How are we prepared to handle an emergency like that? And how are we working with our San Antonio Police Department to make sure that we're prepared for the worst possible?
Thank you. Would you mind repeating the question, please?
College campuses sometimes face concerns about public safety. How can you work with the university to ensure students feel safe on and off campus?
Yeah, appreciate that. I second the idea of putting more resources towards mental health here in San Antonio, and specifically within university programs. Typically, when you hear about an incident that happens at a university, whether it's Virginia Tech, whether it's Columbine, typically it happens from within the school. It's either somebody that is dealing with something, and administration missed the ball on some aspect of why they revolted and caused the tragic incident. So I think putting more resources into national proven institutions that could bring either the help that we need here in San Antonio, because obviously what is happening isn't enough to protect our students is one way. Another way is to, of course, have more police officers in the area and enforce more patrols, whether it's walks on campus, whether it's just patrolling on the outside perimeter, to understand exactly how that's affecting that university itself. Really, it's just about putting city resources towards public safety. Public safety is a critical service and it needs to be adhered to.
Councilwoman.
Thank you. I just want to correct a few things. It's been set up here that we're not funding our police department. We're not adding new officers. In the last year alone, we've funded 105 brand new police officers. 100 of those were actual patrol officers. And we have a plan to be more proactive, not reactive, to flip the percentage from 60% reactive to 60% proactive. I chair our public safety committee, and I have spearheaded a lot of that. I've worked with, of course, Chief McManus. We're talking about universities. I'll tell you today, I got a call that St. Mary's, there was a couple of suspects that went onto campus. They ran from police and went onto campus. Thankfully, they were apprehended, but it's a real concern. So I mentioned earlier lighting, a comprehensive lighting plan. If you have, I'll tell you real quick, in my district, there was a community mailbox that kept getting broken into, and we couldn't figure out what was going on. So I put a light post right next to it, and it hasn't happened since. It's pretty simple. Also, I've started and I've seen through the SA Core program, which is a mental health unit that will respond to mental health episodes instead of a gun and badge at the door. And so I want to continue that and expand it. Thank you.
Robert Melvin.
So San Antonio is the 7th largest city in the nation, and we're currently operating 300 police officers short of what a city this size should have. So the first priority is making sure that we are well staffed by our men and women in blue, as well as all of our first responders, to ensure that we have an adequate supply of officers to provide us baseline safety. The second aspect of that is getting back into something we call community policing, making sure we know our neighbors, making sure we know who our officers are as we are engaging so that we become a part of the solution and not just sitting back expecting for it to come for us. In that same vein, we've also learned that our fire department is operating 5 firehouses short of what they should have for the city of San Antonio. And those 5 firehouses include all of the equipment, material, and manpower necessary in order to be able to service those institutions. I'm sorry, I'll stop.
Chris.
My name is Chris Herring, candidate number 16 on the ballot. So my daughter right now is transitioning from Churchill High School, and she's going to be going to college. So these types of questions are very important. And as I think about these depressed zip codes in which we have, at least 10 of them, 3 are in the west side where Our Lady of the Lake is. We have to have an update, a regular update in terms of the status of criminal activity. We need to make sure that, again, if we're going to improve something, the voters and all the people have to see it. So a very visible dashboard that goes into the very elements of fighting poverty. Safety is so important. Robert's right. We have to hire our police and get them to the right numbers. My dad was a police officer, so I understand the essence of having a law enforcement. But we also have to do our part and be responsible as mayors to put a dashboard so you can see the progress that we're making. Thank you.
Would you please repeat the question?
College campuses face concerns about public safety. How can you work with the university to ensure students feel safe on and off campus?
Clayton.
So I've already answered that. Is my number one priority is crime here in San Antonio and people not feeling safe walking in their neighborhoods, down the sidewalks, wherever. And this is a great example of students being afraid to walk to and from class, and some of them are at nighttime. We have to get those police officers hired to be more proactive and not just responding to a crime after it's happened. They have to get into the neighborhoods. The patrols need to be more visible. I know the city is already trying to, right now it's called the 60-40 split, where only 40% of the officers are patrolling. 60% is due to leave and shift time and back office support. And they're trying to flip that around where 60% is out in the neighborhoods. That has to happen, along with hiring the rest of our police officers and staying up with the growth of San Antonio and continuing to hire more.
Councilman Courage.
Thank you. As mayor, there are 4 things that I would work on doing. First, I would work with the colleges and CPS to bring more lights onto the campus. These campuses need to be brighter and lighter, and that provides more security. Second, I think that we need to get SAPD and the campus police working more collaboratively to provide better protection in and around all of the campuses. Next, I think we need to work as a city to provide more opportunities for young people to do more positive things with their time instead of hanging out and looking for things to do that are detrimental to the safety of the community. And finally, I'm the only council member who has worked to take guns off the streets in this city. I've sponsored 2 weapons exchange programs that have removed 1,500 weapons that will never be used to commit a crime or to hurt somebody. Those are the kinds of steps we need to take to protect our students.
Santos.
Okay, first thing, okay, we have to make sure that the SAPD and other college police, whether it be the college, universities, even the independent school districts, they need to make sure they work together. But we need to bring more new police officers on board. And the best way to do it is you have to give an incentive on why they want to join the police department. If you get an incentive, maybe they'll give them a reason why, you know what, I want to be a SAPD cop because they're going to do this for me, or they're going to let me do this. Everything works with an incentive. You have to give them something for them to give you something. That's the only way it's going to work. I should know because my brother's a 30-year police officer retired, and I have a nephew that's 20 going on 20 years. They tell me what's wrong in the city. And everybody has to work together. Like I said, it's all a team effort. We have to work as a team.
What is the question, please? One last time.
College campuses face concerns about public safety. How will you work with the university to ensure students feel safe on and off campus?
Robert Salinas.
Well, when I was younger, I used to ride my bike 3 blocks down. And we never had a problem with anybody coming up to us. Now you can't. Society's changed. We need to tell our students, every time you go out somewhere to party or to your friend's campus or whatever it is, go by twos or threes. That's the only way they're going to be safe. And also, find out why SAPD, every time you make a phone call, it takes them 30 minutes to 2 hours, because I own a repair shop here in San Antonio. They broke in my shop. It took them 3 hours to get over there. Why? Because it wasn't important. We need to find out how many officers are in that area, what can they do, and for them to have better response. Because if something happens to one of our kids here in college, and it takes them 2 hours to get over here, that person already left. So we need to talk to the chief and find out why are they taking so long to respond to any crime.
Thank you, Robert. Arturo.
I am here running for office, and the truth is that it's a commitment to come back here to this university and meet the people here, the students here. Somebody's drinking. My take is you go to that person, tell them, stop drinking, please. Smoking marijuana, using drugs, you tell them directly. And it's a structure that will provide safety for you here and outside. I have a lot in my mind. I'm not be able to get to everything. I have written a document for you. I hope you take it at the end of the conversation, and I'm gonna go to you and I'll give it to you. It is in the essence to keep yourself safe. It is your responsibility to keep yourself safe with the assistance of others. Don't isolate yourself.
James.
Vote J in May. This is a topic that's very near and dear to me that I've been researching for the past 2 years. Unfortunately, I didn't reach out to Our Lady of the Lake University, but I did reach out to UTSA. And I know many of you won't be able to see my phone, but it's an app that they have that's called LexisNexis. And what it does, it provides you with each type of crime that's committed in San Antonio and where that crime was committed. That led me and my team to formulating an initiative called Peace in the Streets Initiative. So I met with the San Antonio Police Department. I talked with UTSA, and basically it's a twofold system. You have the San Antonio Police Department that works outside of the campus, and then you have the campus police that works with inside. So if there's some type of continuity between the two, then we'll keep the students and everyone that's a citizen of San Antonio safe. Vote J in May.
Candidates, thank you so much for your responses to our round of questions. Christopher, we're going to start with you. 30 seconds to give your closing remarks. Christopher Reyes.
So Christopher Reyes, I'm number 4 on the ballot. My plan, again, is transparency. Once we open up the books, everything's open. Everyone can see what's going on. Then we can start tackling problems based off of our financial budget. Because our budget right now, it seems like any money that comes in, they want to throw it at different problems rather than having priorities. There's 10 different districts here, and everybody has a separate priority. And we need a leader as the mayor to bring them all together so we can actually start solving these issues.
Councilwoman Dr. Adriana Rocha Garcia.
Thank you, and thank you for hosting us. Thanks for the TV for being here as well. By the way, I have to acknowledge that the music was incredible walking in. But the top 3 priorities, again, that I have are housing, healthcare, and economic empowerment through education. I'm number 11 on the ballot. The mayor is the 11th seat on council. The mayor doesn't have a bigger vote or a bigger role. It is the figurehead. The mayor's position is his figurehead, but we have to work together with all of our community members, reminding you to be sure you find out who is on the ballot to represent you at your council district level as well.
Mao Sanchez, 30 seconds for your closing remarks.
Thanks again for welcoming us and for giving us your attention during this night. So you could find out more information about myself at malformayor.com. It's MAU4mayor.com. It's going to give you a glimpse in terms of what I envision for our city. The truth is, for the past 15 years, the city has failed you to bring the economy back to a standard that is competitive with every other Texas metropolitan city. I think that we need to vote someone that understands the economic dynamic, the business dynamic, and the financial dynamic of the United States, Texas, and San Antonio, and how to make us competitive again, to bring our wages, to bring our benefits backed up to the standard that it needs to be.
Councilwoman Melissa Cabello Haverda.
Thank you. I want to thank you again. It truly is my privilege not only to be here with you tonight, but to serve you on City Council. My name is Melissa Cabello Haverda. Look me up at melissa4sa.com. I want to fast forward 8 years and think back. I want all of you to say in 8 years that you look back and say that Melissa was the mayor that gave local government back to the people of San Antonio. I'm number 25 on the ballot, 25 for 2025. Again, Melissa Cabello Haverda. Thank you so much.
Robert T. Melvin.
I would first like to thank our timekeeper for doing such a fantastic job. You've made this a joy. I've said this from the very beginning. Me running for mayor has zero to do about me. It's about us. It's about getting the people of San Antonio back involved in the decisions that are being made and how this city is being run, and the decisions that are being made and how we invest. San Antonio is a beautiful city, but it's time for us to take her back and grow her in the way that we know is right. Thank you for the time that you all have provided me this evening. And thank you again, young timekeeper.
Chris Herring.
So my goal again is to give a voice to the voiceless. I'm Chris Herring, I'm candidate number 16. I'm the only candidate that really has a passion for wanting to get rid of this thing called generational poverty. And I'll do it through our small businesses. I'll do it by addressing the disparities with women. For a woman who is born on the South Cross has a 10-year difference in life expectancy than someone who lives in Stone Oak. There's so many different disparities that we need to address, but we need a dashboard to see it. And I want to be your mayor, and I want you to have transparency to see it. Thank you so much.
Clayton Perry.
Experience and common sense leadership. That's what I bring to the table, working my way up from the grassroots level all the way up to city council. And that experience goes a long way in knowing the bureaucracy, how to get things done in this city, and know the people also. I'm number 14 on the ballot out of 27, right in the middle. So take a look at me. Again, experience and common sense leadership. Thank you.
Councilman John Courage.
Again, I've served longest on the city council of any council member. In that 8 years, I've come to learn a lot about how the city works and what the needs are in our neighborhoods, and how to work with city government. So I have the knowledge and I have the understanding of the concerns that you have. And I think I've developed the insight to come up with solutions, serious solutions for serious problems. And I've got the experience of making things happen and things getting done in the city government. So that's why I think I'm the best prepared person to be your mayor.
Santos Alvarado.
Thank you. Okay, first, so many promises have been made for so many years, okay? And every election, they make the same promises. Promises are not kept. I'm not making promises. I'm bringing solutions. The city belongs to you, the voters. It doesn't belong to the city council or to city hall. You are the voice for the city. And that's what I'm going to bring back. I'm going to bring back the voice to you so you can decide what the city really needs. Thank you.
Robert Salinas.
I want to thank everybody for letting us be here, and just to let everybody know that we the people, whoever gets elected, don't forget about we the people, because they're the ones that elected you. So that's what we need to do. I'm like, don't forget about the people that elected you. Thank you.
Arturo Espinosa.
This is the end of our time right here, right now. All that matters is the truth. In any given relationship between two individuals, if there's no truth, there's nothing. not even love. I promise you to bring to this seat honor, truthfulness, and love. I am Arturo Espinosa, mayor candidate here in this city. I'm number 20 in the ballot. But look, all these guys are wonderful. All these women are wonderful. We do it because we love you and we care about you.
James J. Melvin.
Vote J in May. So guys, this is the fact. I didn't come here to get cheers or applause, but I came here to be honest and open. We owe over $13 billion in debt. We're ranked second in the state in crime. Our food resources and sustainability for the elderly are at an all-time low. You know just as well as I know who has been involved and where they've been involved and what has led to this point in time. So if you want change, you vote for number 17 on the ballot. That's vote J in May.
Candidates, thank you so much for your time, for your ideas. Our Lady of the Lake University, how about a round of applause for our candidates? Let's be loud. Candidates, once again, thank you for your dedication to our city, to our community, to our students, to Our Lady of the Lake University, and to education all across our city and our region. Folks, this now concludes our Mayoral Forum. Thank you all. Thank you so much.